from my heart and from my hand. Why don't people understand my intention?
Morning guys, welcome back to the channel. So a little bit more time has passed between my last upload than I anticipated because life, things are getting back to normal, so movement is much easier, so I had to attend to some day-to-day business work. But the good news is the lift behind me is now empty, which means that we have taken the Britex shell to the paint shop and we've actually received the Clubman bike, so we can start the electric project officially. So let me just show you. So guys, there we have it. Now we're still waiting for the doors and the bonnet, but we have enough here now that we can actually continue and start assembling a lot of the subframe and suspension, which would be the first priority. Hi guys, I just want to stop the video there for a moment and let you know that any donations or ad revenue generated by this channel is actually being given towards cancer counselling charities that are helping families that have received a cancer diagnosis get through difficult times. So any help from your side, donations, or just watch the video to the end is highly appreciated. And from my side, thank you so much for the support so far. Okay guys, she's now on the ramp. Don't know if you can see this color under the workshop lights, but it is really nice. So we need to turn our attention now to first step. So first step is to fit the steering rack before we can do the front subframe. As you can see, I've already built both subframes up here. But before we can even do that, we need to address this, because we need to replace the front shoulders that support the shocks because of the coilovers. It moves the position of the shock slightly differently than the standard OEM ones, so we have to change these shoulders first. So let's crack on, do the steering rack, and then we can turn our attention to focusing on the suspension. Okay guys, that's the steering column and steering rack fitted. Just remember, when you fit these, don't forget to put in your little sponge washer at the bottom of the steering column, and also these plastic friction strips that go on the U-bolts that hold the steering rack in place. Now we've got that in place, we've got space to fit the front subframe, but before we do that, we need to put in the suspension shoulders. So hopefully you can see this, but the shoulders are relatively straightforward to fit because it does use 4 of the original mounting points that was on the OEM versions, and you actually have to add another 2 on top just for that extra strength, but it's a relatively straightforward process. It's also got the offset built in, so it should line up with the subframe relatively straightforward. So yeah, let's finish the drilling for those 2 remaining holes, and then we can have a crack at getting the subframe in. Okay, that's the front coilovers in. I've put it on the first bolt position until we understand the full weight to set up the actual angle and ride height of the car. But now you can see we are operational. The front coil's in. Now we have to focus on doing the rears. So guys, everything went really well with the front end, but on the rear end we've had some problems with clearance issues, because when we test fitted the wheels, there was some rubbing going on with the rear shock. Now when we put the subframe in, we did notice that it was more challenging than it should have been, and after a little exploration work we discovered that this bushing here on one side was actually manufactured thicker than the other side, so it was moving the subframe over to one side. So we've just spent the last 2.5 hours correcting that, taking that bush back out and checking to make sure clearances are good. So hopefully this time when we do a fit, everything should be okay. There you go guys, couldn't resist trying the grill on the front just to see what the contrast looks like. So now we've resolved that rubbing issue on the rear subframe. She's on all 4 wheels and looking good. And as I mentioned before, she's riding a little bit high at the moment until we put the battery and the electric motor in. All those things will get refined as we go along. So yeah, really pleased with how she's turning out so far. Looking really good. Now the next job is actually going to be focused on the soundproofing and the vibration layers, but I won't put that on video. There's plenty of videos showing you how to do this, but slightly different for the electric vehicle. I'm going to be focusing less on vibration and more on acoustics to cut down some of the high-pitched whining that goes on in electric cars. So I think what the factory's already done is enough as far as vibration is concerned, with probably the exception of the rear panel there. The rest of it will be all acoustics. So that's it for this week guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and look forward to talking to you next week with the next update on the electric conversion. Take care. Bye bye.